Hello, YouTube. Welcome to my channel, Marriage, Politics, and Sports. Today, I'm going to show you a couple of politicians I think let us down. Yes, they're black politicians. Don't you think it's time for us to stop voting for people based on the color of their skin and what we think they're going to do for us in action as opposed to just words? I mean, I know I've been tired of it and I don't do it. But, a lot of people have been gaslit and frightened by liberals in the Democratic Party to think that the Democrats have our best interests in mind. Well, if they did, our inner cities just cesspools of violence and death and destruction. Why have the Democrats opened the borders to replace their black voters for the future with people who can't speak the language, giving them millions and millions of dollars, putting them up into the best hotels, displacing the black and brown community by taking away this, rec centers and their fields and everything, their public schools that could have been repurposed, everything for strangers, for illegal immigrants. Why does New York City have a law that the police who get their ass kicked by the migrants can't even have them deported because they are by law forbidden to actually communicate with ICE? I mean, how can that really be? So I don't see how people can't be so upset at this. I got Kamala Harris up there, who's only black by convenience. Other than that, she identifies as an Asian. She was supposed to be the border czar. That was her first bet. That was her first assignment, to secure the borders of the United States. And one of the things that really frustrates me is because we got great minds in the United States that know how to, for example, know if there's a process, they know how to improve processes. They know how to do value stream mapping. They know how to identify, the bottlenecks. There's a process for immigration. People won't know that, but there is. There's a process for illegals. There's a process for all of that. The bottleneck, the bandwidth might not be big enough. The timelines take too long. The inefficiencies are identifiable. I mean, it's essentially fixing the immigration problem could be a master black belt project with the best minds to understand processes. Something that could be easily identified in terms of what needs to be fixed. Now, voting and all that kind of stuff on a bipartisan level is a different thing. But the fact that we seem powerless, the most powerful country in the world seems powerless to secure our borders, is just plain bullshit. It's a refusal to do it. It's sacrificing the American people for political gain on both sides. So, she was supposed to do that. She's going to go down in history as the worst vice president that ever lived, as far as I'm concerned. The second lady is not a politician. She's an attorney. She just got convicted for I guess, stealing $7 million of COVID funding. Now, she's not a politician, but guess what? She was getting ready to run for a superior courtship, a judge. She's an attorney. Her name is Shalitha Robinson. She was getting ready to become a judge. She probably was going to win, too, if she didn't get convicted of those COVID relief funds. And everybody knows the next woman, Tiffany Henyard. She is just a complete horror show. And the point is that somehow, one way, shape, form, or other, as she destroys the village of Dalton, with her selfishness and trying to be Nino Brown from New Jack City, the feds are going to come after her and they're going to get her before it's all over because she's not going to be able to hide forever. I'm surprised they haven't gotten her yet. Then, of course, is Mayor Brandon Johnson, who's so liberal and so blinded that he's been used as a pawn for these sanctuary cities, and he's pretty much destroyed what's left of Chicago, right? Displacing his people. He's pushed a whole cadre of black men to vote Republican when the next election come in. And of course, then there's Fannie Willis, who compromised herself through adultery, and she's gonna and now she put a whole case against Trump in jeopardy, not because her adultery has anything to do with the case, but her position, you know, her position as the Fulton County DA, it's been compromised. And matter of fact, they're trying to put legislation to have her impeached. I mean, come on. These are black people that we looked up to. And of course, the next lady is Natalie Hall. She actually lost the case, right? She was stroking one of her subordinates, and she was stalking him. She wanted him to be exclusive to her, and he was just banging it out. He didn't want to do that, but he was working for her. So he won a case, almost $1 million against the county, and she's the Fulton County commissioner for District 4, an elected official. And they're giving her a slap on the wrist. Now, I didn't really dig to see if she was married or not, but she's banging out a subordinate. Then, in all HR parlances, if it was a man banging out a subordinate woman, he would be fired. He wouldn't even have a chance. And of course, there's Eric Adams. Eric Adams is doing the same thing as Brandon Johnson. Then he found out that he's destroying in New York City with the immigrants, the illegal immigrants who are in luxury hotels. He just signed a bill for them to get $53 million worth of credit cards. I mean, it's just a complete disaster. Why are these people elected by the black people that they've turned their backs on? It's just incredible. The Democrats put the worst black people in front of us. And then now, hit the bottom picks is the Congressional Black Caucus. Listen, I don't want to disparage all of them. I'm sure some of them are great at heart. But okay, somebody give me a list of things that they've done for us in Congress that actually improve the lives of Black Americans other than running the Victim Olympics. Oh, you can't do anything because you're Black, and everything. I don't see how anybody can feel comfortable with that. What are they doing for us? If they were small hats, they would have inroads in the economic system. They would have inroads here and there. If they was Latino, they would have more inroads than we do. What are these people doing for us? What is the Democrat Party doing for us? Biden is, if you look at his record, he has done more to destroy Black families than Trump ever has. And I'm not saying vote for Trump. We should, as Black people, be spearheading an independent party, a party that is for the middle class. And we need to find allies that are not Black. There's a whole lot of things that's wrong with this country that we can team up with from a male perspective: white men, Asian men, Hispanic men, the laws on paternity, the laws on child support laws, divorce laws. There's a lot of things we can do and put at the forefront other than the bullshit about, running in the Victim Olympics. So I'm just throwing this out there because I'm just tired, man. I am not, I could tell you this, I might not vote for Trump, but I'm definitely not giving Biden my vote. Ever. I'll write my name in before I write his name, and Kamala Harris can go along with him. So, hopefully we'll see a real divergence, a divestment from at least Black men. I think asking Black women to do anything from other than what makes them feel good is probably a bridge too far. But Black men, we have no safety net. We need to divest from the Democratic Party quick, fast, and in a hurry. And if they lose all those swing states, I don't give a shit. I really don't. Because let me tell you, after coming out of slavery, we should not be afraid of racism. We should not be afraid of that. They gotta stop being able to use that as a weapon to make you vote the way they vote, uh, the way they want you to. It's just ridiculous. We got all these black politicians everywhere, so how is that stopping people from getting what they want? They're just race hustlers. So it's time to end that shit, man. I'm Ungawa Black Power with the best of them, but it's time to stop voting that way because it's not working. Our marriages are down to 30%. We got baby mamas all over the place, and we have a ratchet ass women representing us around the world, Sexy Red and Sukihana and all the worst kind of people in the whole world being the face of black women. We have an obesity problem. We have all kinds of issues that we could fix from within. We have criminality all over the place. We got stores closing because people are looting them. We have laws that says we can't prosecute those looters. Now they're putting in migrants and immigrants, illegal or legal. They're going to take your jobs in 5 years. They're going to run the neighborhoods you live in. You can bet your bottom dollar that's going to happen. So it's, African Americans as a subculture in the United States is on its way out. And if you don't see that, then, shame on you. We don't have no families anymore. And there's people who actually despise people in long marriages. There's women on the internet talking about, how they feel about black babies and all that kind of stuff. It's time to end this bullshit, man. So anyhow, man, hey, man, I see you out there, Trey Ferg, man. I'm not going to be long with this. I'm going to just end it. But the point is, unless you want to come up, man, I didn't even think about that. I was just going to riff, man. I don't know if you have anything to say because I'd invite you up if you do. There's no problem with me, man. I'm just venting. I put it in the chat if you want to. I put the link in the chat, man. I don't know if you want to come up. I saw what you put there. So I like I said, man, I'm just, this is going to be an interesting year for us. I don't think Trump is going to be president, and I don't think Biden is going to make it. But I tell you what, we should be as frightened of Nikki Haley as anybody else, or Kamala Harris being elevated to president because Biden won't make it through the election. He's on pins and needles right now. So, we got to stop voting for people just based on the color of their skin. It's got to stop. And both the women up here are pretty much, leave much to be desired. And the men up here are very weak. They're not leaders. Eric Adams found out too late that his migrant policies are destroying New York. And once he started talking out, they raided his offices to see if there was some campaign impropriety. So to shut him up, the president won't even talk to him. Right. So, and he's the mayor of the largest city in the United States and the most famous city in the whole world. And he can't even get an audience with the president. So that tells you what Biden thinks of this black man. So we are in trouble as a subculture in this country. Our culture is shit. What we praise is shit. Our politicians are shit. What is good? I'm telling you, it's a shame, and I'm completely disgusted with all of these guys. Anyway, listen, I'm not gonna, I am not gonna back down on that. There's some black politicians out there who are on the straight and narrow, but they're not in the forefront. They still tout the party line. They still run in the victim Olympics, and I wouldn't mind seeing a whole bunch of black people become conservative And maybe we could take over the Republican Party, but we should at least be independents, and we should give our votes to the people who have our best interests in mind. The Democrat Party does not, hasn't for years. Anyway, our pain, marriage, politics, and sports, over and out.